Since I was young, I was always interested in the macabre and true crime, so much so I would commonly visit places where horrific events had taken place. I'd once taken a trip to the remains of a house where the family had been burned alive. Neighbors say the blood-curdling screams and the smell of the charred flesh still haunt them. Morbidly, that excites me, and almost makes me want to have experienced the scene firsthand. My strange way to spend my time has made me an outcast. I don't have a lot of friends other than the people who share my hobby on a Discord server. We always give each other tips and points of interest. We're almost like a group of private investigators, or as most people call us, a group of sick wannabes. I woke up one Monday morning at the crack of dawn. Morning frost still glistening on the lawn. Sun starting to break its way through the curtains. I peel back the covers from my morning dazed face, lean over to my dresser to see a 10 notification on my phone. I see they're all from Hunter, one of my friends from the Discord. Bro, wake the fuck up. Something big is going down. Excitedly I respond, prying to find out the exciting news. Is it a stabbing? A mass shooting? A housewife who had taken one too many beatings from her husband? What is it, man? It better be good, I reply. Get dressed and get the fuck over to Lake Town. The police have found a body in the lake, Hunter demanded at me. Okay, it doesn't sound that special. Why are you so excited, man? I confusedly asked. Well, when they pulled the bodies out, each and every one of their faces were missing. They'd been carved off. How fucked up is that? Hunter exclaimed. My heart dropped. I couldn't tell if it was fear, anticipation, or excitement. Hunter, you never seem to disappoint. I'm on it, I joked. I got dressed as quick as a flash and grabbed my keys and bolted out to my car. See, I'd been at many murder locations, but never one where the murderer is still free and unknown. I was scared of what I was getting myself into, but my morbid curiosity got the better of me, and I began to head to Lake Town. The drive was about an hour and a half. Lake Town is in the middle of nowhere in a small cut-off civilization. It's almost like a time warp to the past. My plan for the day was to check into a motel, then straight down to the lake and see what I could find. I arrived at the seedy little building, the smell of cheap booze and cigarettes oozing from the property. It was definitely shit, but it was only for one night and I wasn't exactly made of money. I was greeted at the desk by a husk of a man, hunched over the desk with a roll-up dangling from his mouth. He glared at me, shooting daggers at me like I had just killed his cat or something. Can I have a room for the night, please? I asked politely. He just handed over the keys and snapped at me. 30 pounds. I gave him the money, grabbed my key and left, whispering under my breath that he sued the charm school. I entered my room, the smell of weed and sex striking my nose, stains of the previous tenants glistening over my clearly used sheets. I began questioning myself. I mean, all of this, just so I can please my twisted mind and sick fascination? I scuttled out of there quickly, hoping that I hadn't already been contaminated with some sort of venereal disease. I went down to the lake, excited, hoping that I, single-handedly, was going to crack this case wide open. Oh, how delusional I was. I spent hours checking every nook and cranny, under every rock and fern, and much to my disappointment, nothing. I'm an idiot. I should have never journeyed here. Maybe I was just a wannabe crime detective. A fool, obviously out of his depth. Defeated, I headed back to my motel, questioning myself, full of regret and embarrassment that I thought I could discover anything. My phone screen lit up. Who the fuck was messaging me, I questioned. Bro, get the fuck down to the lake. I'm here and I found something, Hunter exclaimed. How the fuck had he found something and I didn't? I angrily headed out wondering how bad at this I really was, that I had missed something. I also was surprised he had came to meet me here as we had never met and had no plans of meeting up. I parked my car and practically sprinted down to the water. Hunter! I called. No response. An uneasy feeling washed over me, almost like a cold breeze had struck the back of my neck. Dude, where the fuck are you? I yelled reluctantly. Much to my discomfort, still no reply. I began to lap around the lake trying to see a sign of life anywhere. I heard a crunching of leaves, amongst the howling of the wind. All of a sudden I hear a branch snap behind me. My heart sank. I wasn't alone here. For a split second I felt warm liquid rushing down the back of my head, and a piercing pain flooding through my cranium followed by a sudden darkness. I woke up. I couldn't move. My head was pounding from some form of blunt trauma. My eyes still closed. I took a breath, and the smell of rot wafted over me, almost like meat that was way past its sell-by date. I pry opened my eyes. The sight that beholden me sent me into a spiral of panic. I was face to face with faces staring back at me. Disembodied faces, bloody faces, disgusting, rotting faces that had clearly been removed from victims. The faces still held expressions of their pain and torture. They were eyeless, but I couldn't help the feeling that they were staring back at me. I tried to run, but my body was restrained to an old wooden chair covered in chains. "Help!" I stupidly screamed at the top of my lungs. I knew it was stupid, but I couldn't control myself. Panic had set in. Tears were running down my face. I didn't want to become part of this sick collection. All this time I spent fantasizing about horrific scenes, and now I was in one of them my own. I hated this. I should have just stayed home, safe. I became deathly silent, my screams subdued by the creaks of the floorboards getting increasingly louder. Oh fuck, please no. The door swings open. A shadowy figure stood in the doorway eerily. A glint of a metallic tool hits my eye. I'm so glad we finally get to meet. I have waited so long for this.